Um, Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Akeem. And I've been thinking a lot about what they should do in WWE. And I'm not so sure about what they should do and they should not do. But I think in my time frame, I really think LA Knight should be put against Gunter, Brock, and Omos. Brock and Oba. But in my direction, I honestly think that from a time frame, from a time frame, there are some good athletes. How am I knowing that what basically killed that empire of the bloodline was what killed WCW back in the 90s with the New World Order Sting dethroning Hulk Hogan when he was at his best, is what has Cody came in and killed Roman Reigns. What basically killed Dynamite was Mercedes Monet's creative control. And that is why wrestling is where it is today. That's why we got guys like the group like the Vision, the Death Riders. The reason why we have the Death Riders was Tony's a mark, and he wants to duplicate everything that he saw with 2001 with Stone Cold and the Afterlights and Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon. That group was in Invasion. It was WCW versus WWF versus ECW. That was one of the greatest matches of all time. Jericho turned on The Rock, Angle turned on Austin, Booker T turned too. But that was a good match. I don't see this as a way like Mercedes Moné killed Dynamite. And I could tell you why she killed Dynamite, because she wanted to snatch up Charlotte's record of belts and wanted to be more like the Charlotte Flair of All Elite Wrestling. Basically, because she used to compare Charlotte to Serena Williams. So that was her praise, that she wanted to say that Charlotte, that she's the Beyonce of professional wrestling. And she ruined it because she wasn't a leader. She wants to be like Charlotte so bad and want to be in the shadows of a Charlotte Flair, be above the four horsemen. She wants to, but she doesn't. Is really not that good on the microphone. Like, have you checked the last 11, maybe 12, 13 years of her in WWE, NXT, and the best version of her is with Bayley till the pandemic. Her best program was with Bayley in NXT. My favorite best program was her in Charlotte when she first came up and she broke through from the baddies. I call them Naomi and Tamina. But, there's a lot of politicians. Saraya, she didn't want to work with certain people because they think they were going to be better than her. She wanted nobody to look better than her. She wasn't that good in the ring. So I felt like the reason why Death Riders, I used to tell them that they weren't a bad group. John Moxley, those guys are great people. And I felt like with Stone Cold, he just kept around. So it more like the Vision and the Bloodline. So that is what everybody wants to be like, because they couldn't get that opportunity. But Dino is that versus a free man. Dino's great. Dino's better than Sasha. But the other turf, I want that elbow to land on Charles Mason Friday night. And he needs to lose. And he needs to go up to AEW and challenge the Don Callis family and Kyle Fletcher, he needs to be a babyface. I am so done with this Charles Mason experiment. It's being shoved down to feed the fans and to put everybody in to think that I'm going to go challenge this man. I am so done with Mason. So done. So done with Charles Mason. I want nothing to do with Charles Mason. It's like he's stuck. He's so good at what he does. Zilla Fatu is a great example. I love Zilla Fatu, his presence. He's so good in the ring. But in turf, the elbow needs to land. Zilla could stay. That elbow needs to land. That running back spin elbow needs to land. He needs to hit him with it 5 times and pin him. Because he needs to be protected. And he needs to go straight up to AEW and feud the Don Callis family. Or you're going to put him with the Don Callis family. I just think he needs to go as a good guy. Or whatever you want to do with Charles Mason. But I'm a fan of Charles Mason. I'm a fan of him since 2021. Ever since he was in with Carlos Ramirez, and I liked the program, and I liked him. I really do. He's a guy. I want him to get protected. I want Tony to be the best he can and protect him so badly because he's a good experiment. He's my young boy down at AEW, and him and Zilla are my 2 young boys. And who else is I have a young girl down there. You know what? I have a really good young girl. I don't know her name. But I'm going to go with Shotzi. I think Shotzi's doing really well for herself. Gigi Dolan and Zeta, and not just Zeta. I don't know Zeta, but I know Indy's doing really well down there for herself. So, yes, I feel like those 2 are my favorite young guys down there. And you got Bishop. I got a lot of guys we can go after. And I say Bishop needs to win. I think you need to do 2 of them. Because I think he's more than ready. I don't want him not to be in AEW. He doesn't. Alright, I will send Mace to Dynamite and send Zilla to WWE. Does he need NXT? I'm going to say, does Zilla Fatu need NXT? It's 50-50. Does he show up at WrestleMania? Who knows? But I would love to see him in the WWE. The guy looks fantastic. He could talk. I think, does he show up on NXT? Cause remember, he like Solo Sikoa. Like Jacob didn't show up on NXT at all. Jacob just straight to the main roster. Him and the Tongas. Shit was all locked. Him and the Tongas. I think that's a great bit. I think Zilla Fatu, right? Zilla Fatu will be a great addition to the Raw. Wherever the bloodline is, he needs to be. I think Zilla Fatu should go to the WWE. Do I think? I don't know. I think he's better off just going to the main roster. Because you didn't send Jacob to NXT. If you could send these guys straight up to the main roster, you might as well send them down to the main roster. Just like I sent Ramirez. You don't send him to RH. You send him straight to the AEW main roster, too. God, you send Mike Santana to NXT, but he went straight to TNA. I don't see the point there. Like, yeah. Because they're too good for NXT. Like, guys like they don't need NXT. Because you watch them down in HOG. They're good. But, yeah. But what I like about this story between Roman and Punk, it's been great. I've been saying this from the jump. I know that Roman and Punk would have cooked bad in Reigns and Rollins. But if you did that match, there's no story there. There's just a shield. But this has more story, more layers. More. I told you that Roman and Punk will cook. I told you that. Another thing what can cook is Rhea and Jade. If you get Jade, you give her some more TV time, you make her get better in the ring. I think she's really good. She's getting better on the mic. I think she needs to develop an in-ring character. She looked like fucking $1,000,000. She looked like a superwoman. She looked like a movie star. What Mike will say. I like her presentation. She looks fantastic, bro. She looks great, bro. And I do like this match here. I want Rhea to win this match here because Jade didn't really do much after she beat Stratton. Because you hold it for a year. And she was a phenomenal champion, babyface. But she's still good. But I don't know what to do with her. But I do like Charlotte and Alexa. I like Bliss going heel. And you shift around with Jordan. I don't know what you do with Jordan, but this is a good faction. I like it. They just need to get the ball rolling. Get on something for Rollins to do. What are you going to do with Knight? Do you do Knight and Gunter? Does Jericho come and do Knight and Jericho? What does Rollins do? Does Rollins get inserted into a triple threat and makes it a triple threat match? Because I do think it's going to end up basically being a triple threat. Or this is going to lead to something bigger. When CM Punk turns heel, aligns himself with Darkseid gets called up and they enter a WrestleMania. And they leave the match with Paul Heyman. And then Roman Reigns takes some time off. He comes back with Rollins and Ambrose comes back and it's Shield versus Darkseid. It's a good little program for you there. So, and like I said Mercedes Moné should go on a tribal chief flight tape vacation. 2 months is the latest. I think she needs to be March. If Tekla's not, you just need a good solid heel. You give her like 2 to 3 more months. I don't think you just shift her right away. I think you make Mercedes Moné the way how you should have booked her is the way how you should have been booking her. Now is the time she turns babyface, she comes back and she saves Willow and Harley and Chris Statlander from the evil twins and Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. I always wanted her to be presented the right way. She was presented wrong, and that's why I hated her and everybody turned on her. The how she was booked, and how she booked herself, and how she came off. Too cocky, arrogant, and better than everybody else. She's good. Young Bucks are going to eventually beat FTR, and the Kenny, it looks like Kenny and the Bucks going to go on a collision course with Maxwell and FTR, and Kenny is going to be the one. I think they're booking a fatal four-way match at All In. Kenny, Swerve, Hangman, and Ospreay. I think Maxwell loses at Revolution. I don't think he's retaining because I think he wants to go to WWE. I see Swerve potentially beating Kenny, and we get Swerve and Ospreay at All In. No, we get Swerve, Ospreay, and Hangman at All In. I think Hangman beats him, Swerve beats him, and then we get Swerve and Ospreay at All In. I think Will Ospreay wins the Owen, and we get Will Ospreay and Swerve at All In. I think that's what it's gonna be. I think that's the match for All In. Let me see that this thing's recording. Yeah, I think that is the match for All In. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. And the match for All In, I think it's gonna be Mercedes Moné and Tekla, the AEW ones. I think this time she's gonna be a babyface this time, and she's gonna get it done right. You give her at least 5 months. At least you can't have her win right away. But I don't know. I think also too you need to have, if you want to say, let's throw in Mercedes and you probably get Bailey. So you get Mercedes, Bailey, let's say Mercedes Bailey. I think Mercedes Bailey is the way to go. I think you get Mercedes Bailey and Britt. Will be cool. And then that will be a good little feature there. Yes, so I'm going with that one. And I think the next TNT champion will be Speedball. I think Speedball has everything what it takes. Speedball and Knight are next. Bobby Lashley. If they're gonna go down that route, Bobby Lashley's gonna dethrone MJF. There's no way. And now that the roles are reversed, I could see Swerve challenge fighting Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley come back as a good guy. The Hurt Syndicate could go this solo. I think Shelton got potential still for that age. I think Bobby got potential. I think MVP could probably manage. Who can he potentially manage? I think there's a lot of young black bright stars MVP can go after. Yeah. But the Syndicate and the Cows family, I think they fought before. And I think the NWA Championship, I don't know. I think they're going to have Jack Perry beat him. And then Ricochet might get turned on. And then Ricochet might come back as a good guy. But I think that is the direction that they're heading. I think in that personification with McIntyre, Fatu, I think Sami Zayn is going to be the heel. I think Randy's going to fight McIntyre. Cody is they're going to lose. Randy's going to win the WWE title. And I think Sami Zayn will be the eventually one to turn at WrestleMania. Randy Orton wins. Fatu turns heel. I think that's the direction there. Fatu becoming a heel at WrestleMania. Cody will lose. Cody will go away. Sami will be a heel. Sami Zayn will complain and he will run away. He will go somewhere else. Most likely, he will leave and go to AEW. And I see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in AEW this year, by the summer. I don't see Sami Zayn staying, because Sami Zayn is a Vince McMahon project. Triple H don't like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So I see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in AEW. That who I see going to AEW. McIntyre could stay. But is he losing? Yes, he is. Randy Orton is walking out of WrestleMania, the brand new WWE Undisputed Champion. Point blank simple. Where Ripley's winning. Punk is retaining. He's turning heel. He's low blowing Reigns. Darkstay is getting called up. LA Knight is probably going to either be Chris Jericho and Owen might beat Gunther or Brock Lesnar. The new IC champion is probably going to be Javon Evans. The United States champion is probably going to be, let me guess right now. Not Joe, probably All Ego at WrestleMania. New women's IC champion. Probably Saraya, I think. New women's United States champion will probably be Charlotte. So it'll be a heel Alexa versus Charlotte. Selena will probably be the U.S. champion. Aleister Black will win the U.S. title. Charlotte will win the U.S. title. Selena will win first. Aleister Black, Alexa Bliss will win. And Charlotte will capture at WrestleMania. Tiffany will beat probably Lita. And I think with Trish Stratus, who could beat Trish Stratus? Boy, you know what? I'm trying here. Boy, you know what? Who I think will fight Trish Stratus? I think the Battle Twins are going to be Lashley and Nia Jax. I think Bailey and Trish are gonna happen. Becky. 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 In an NXT call up. That's all.